ask some of you guys a question. Well, you probably won't be able to respond because most of you guys are blocked by now. Why do you guys insist that I keep quiet about a lot of what I went through? Why do you guys get triggered when I speak about it and you tell me not to say anything? Why do you guys instruct me to go against the instructions that God gave me when he said I need to speak about this? See, any person that comes to my channel and they don't know the history as to what I went through, they would automatically assume that I'm just some scorned child who's just airing out family business, dirty laundry, etc. But what people don't understand is that's not who I am, okay? Just because I speak about what I'm going through and I speak about my testimony, what I've endured and what I've survived through the grace of God, does not mean that I'm speaking badly about someone. Someone speaking their truth, it may look like you're speaking bad about someone, but that's not the person who is speaking their truth. That's not their fault. The person that committed these crimes, that did these things, that is their fault. So as someone who is sharing my testimony, I'm not going to lie to sugarcoat and to make someone else feel comfortable, especially when I've been attacked since the age of 13 and I have went so many years in silence. When I've reached out to so many people, even when I reached out as a child to so many people to help me through my abuse, to help me find a solution, and every single person has failed me, right? So if I've gone through this for so many years and I finally hear from God, hey, we have been telling them to repent for the last 5 years and they're not listening. Now it's time for you to write a book. Now it's time for you to share your story, because there's many people out there like you who are in families that have a covenant of witches and warlocks, and they think they're alone and they don't know what to do, and they think that they're the only ones going through it. Now it's time for you to write your book. What am I going to do as a child of God? I'm going to listen to God and I'm going to write the book. And I'm going to share my testimony. And I'm not going to dim my testimony to try to save someone or help someone after God has given them grace for so many years and given them time to repent. And up until now, they're still committing the crimes. They're still committing the crimes. How is it fair that the person that's being afflicted by these crimes, how is it fair that they have to be quiet while these people get to go around and do what they're doing and nobody knows they're doing it? That's not fair. So I'm sorry if it offends you, if I'm sharing my testimony. I'm sorry if it offends you that I'm being obedient and I'm exposing evil and I'm calling out evil. And I'm doing the very same thing that David did. I'm doing the very same thing that Elijah did. When Elijah rebuked the prophets of Baal and rebuked Jezebel and Ahab, I'm doing the very thing that God instructs me to do. I'm just doing it in a way where I can share my testimony and I can educate people on these matters that a lot of people like to sweep under the rug. And this is why generational curses continue, because we are told so many times that we are not to share anything that is going on behind closed doors, but we are to shut up. And then what happens is we carry these traumatic events throughout our life, and then it transfers down to our children. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to cover up for a witch. I'm not going to cover up for a warlock. And especially if I've given them time to repent, I'm going to share my testimony, because guess what? Nobody wanted to hear my pleas when I was a kid. Nobody was there for me when I cried when I was a kid. Nobody was there for me when I went through all of this abuse. Nobody. Everybody wanted me to be hush hush. Everybody wanted me to be the scapegoat. Everybody wanted me to be the black sheep. So now when God gives me the opportunity to speak on what I've been through, best believe I'm going to take it. So just because I speak about these things, it does not mean that I did not sit in the presence of God, nor does it mean that I did not fast, because you're not behind closed doors to see how long I've been fasting. You're not behind closed doors with me to see how long I've been in the presence of God. You're not behind closed doors with me receiving the instructions that God gave me, nor are you hearing the instructions he gave me. So it's not your place to tell me when I should and shouldn't share my testimony. Okay? If you have a problem with me sharing my testimony, then you should get in the presence of God and ask him why he's telling me to share it. You should get in the presence of God and ask him why he told me to write a book. Because it's a part of my assignment. But if it's not your assignment, it's not for you to understand. Therefore, it's best for you to go to God and to ask these questions rather than instructing his child to be disobedient and to completely go against what he told them to do.